Hi everyone, welcome back to class. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Kathleen and today's class is going to be a cardio focused class. Just a few words before we get started. You'll notice if you've been following along and taking my classes that there aren't a ton of cardio-centric classes up on my channel. And that's not because I don't want to include them. It is more because I'm still playing around with the format and trying to find the best way to format these classes for all of you. And then a few more words about the format itself. I know that cardio isn't everyone's thing. And a lot of people really hate it. Some people really love it. For me personally, it is an essential part of my own physical and mental wellness and routine. And so it is something that I want to bring to you guys as an option. For me personally, I love running and I love biking. And those happen to be very traditional formats of cardio that a lot of people don't like. And that's totally fine. You absolutely can find so many ways to get cardio into your routine, and that can be through a class like this, that can be through a walk, a power walk, a hike. There's so many ways and formats in which you can find little ways to add cardio into your own routine. And with that, just one last word before we get started. I wanted to quickly run through how this class is going to go down. We're going to start with a warm-up like we always do, and then we're going to get up on our feet and do a few standing series. We'll start with a jumping jack series, followed by some length and reach, and then we'll get into a squat jump series. And then for my non-jumpers, don't worry, if jumping isn't accessible for you or isn't appropriate for your body, I will be offering modifications. But again, I will cue for all of those things as we get into the moves. Alrighty, with that, let's get started. We're gonna come to standing on our mat for a little breathing exercise first. You're gonna bring your feet slightly wider than hips width distance apart, and you're gonna find a gentle, soft bend in those knees. You're gonna inhale, sweep the arms overhead, reaching those arms up towards the sky and really filling up here, feeling every inch of space in your rib cage, feeling really expansive. And then exhale, slowly let all the air go as you start to tip your weight forward, draping your torso over your legs, keeping that deep bend in your knees. And just pause here for a second. I want you to get really heavy. So you can almost think about tipping your weight slightly forward towards your toes to allow your upper body and your head to get even heavier. So you're really hinging from the hips. The whole upper body is just relaxing here. And then we're going to take 2 more breaths like that. Inhale through your nose, start to lift up overhead, reaching up towards the sky, getting super expansive, inflating your chest and your belly like a balloon. And exhale, slowly start to deflate that balloon, rounding forward, allowing your body to be heavy over your legs, releasing all of the air. 1 more breath like this. Inhale through your nose, filling up, reaching overhead. Exhale, slow release. Drape yourself over your legs. Get really heavy. And then slowly start to rebuild your spine, rolling up 1 vertebrae at a time. Maybe take a shoulder roll and a neck roll, one direction and then the other. Alrighty. We're gonna get started with a little warm up, and we're gonna get our legs warmed up and our body warmed up. You're gonna bring your feet much wider than hips width distance apart, and all 10 toes are gonna be facing forward and parallel. You're gonna take a seat back as if you're sitting in an imaginary chair. So you're taking a squat here, and I want you to take a look at your toes. You should be able to see all of them peeking past your knees. Okay, from here, you can bring your hands on your hips, and then we're gonna take a side reach over towards the right with the left arm. So we're gonna reach over, finding a nice side body stretch, opening through the rib cage, opening through the left side body, and all my weight is in my right foot. My left toes are just pointed, tapping the mat. You're gonna come back through center, and then you're gonna take a reach over with the left arm towards the right. And repeat, we come down, we reach, down, and reach. So we're reaching up and over, staying on one side, and then we're reaching across at shoulder height. So we reach over, getting that side body stretch, and then we're finding a little twist here. So just warming up through the spine and our legs, our side body. All right, let's do 3 more sets on this side, and then we'll switch. Inhale down, exhale, reach. And 1 more here. And then we'll switch to the other side. We come down, and this time reaching over to the left with the right arm, opening through that rib cage, peeling the shoulder back. We come down and reach across. And you can allow your gaze to kind of follow that arm as you reach across. Nice big movements here. Let's do 3 more sets. Here's 3. And 2. Getting really low in that squat. Warming up through the legs here. And we have 1 more. And reach across. Come down, stand all the way up. All right, we're not quite done with our warm-up yet. We're now gonna come down onto our mats. So you're gonna walk yourself out into a high plank. So go ahead and find your plank and just pause here for a moment. Shoulders stack over those wrists. I want you to find a soft bend in your elbows. And then I want you to bring your attention to your shoulders. You wanna create a strong shelf with those shoulders. You wanna think about lifting up and puffing out the space between your shoulder blades. And you almost want to think about transferring the weight from your wrists into your shoulders so that we're not applying so much pressure into those wrists. I want you to grip the mat with all 10 finger pads here. And then I want you to bring your attention to your core and to your rib cage. I want you to think about spiraling your rib cage in towards the center line of your body and then drawing the navel up and back towards your spine. Feeling your core engage here, feeling it support your spine. And then last thing here, I want you to find strength through those quadriceps. So we're strong in our legs, straightening through those legs, staying high on the ball mounds of our feet. Okay, from here, you're gonna step your right foot in so that the knee stacks underneath the hip. You're gonna step the left foot in, the knee stacks under the hip. You're in a bear, so we're hovering our knees just a few inches away from the mat. Upper body is unchanged. We're gonna step it back with the right, back with the left, and repeat starting with the left side. Left and right, left and right. So we're alternating the side that leads here. And right, left, left, right, left, right. Trying to keep the upper body nice and stable as we move through this bear to plank walk. Now, you can stay here, or if you're ready and you want the little added cardio challenge, you can turn this into a hop. So you'll hop it forward and then you'll hop it back. Hop it forward, hop it back, trying to keep your shoulders steady in place. And if you're landing, if you're taking the hop variation, I want you to really think about that soft landing, especially on our way back into a plank. So keeping a soft bend in your knees, keeping this in the core, and not dumping weight into our knees and our toes as we hop forward and back. You can also take it hop forward and step back to kind of introduce yourself to the hop variation. Okay, we're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, find 1 more, and then set the knees down. Woo, take a seat on your heels. Take a moment here just to catch your breath. We aren't quite done yet. We're gonna do 1 more little move here. Okay, when you're ready, come back into your bear. So you're gonna start in tabletop. You'll tuck your toes under, and then you're gonna lift your knees away from the mat, finding that hover. You're gonna step your right foot out to this wide edge of your mat. Left foot comes to the wide edge of your mat. So you're a wide bear here. You're gonna step your right foot back and left foot back, and then repeat starting with the left. We go left, right, left, and right. Right, left, right, and left. And continuing on like this. Again, the key here is we're trying to really keep this in the core, and we're trying to keep the hips and the shoulders as quiet as we can. If you're ready, you can take this into a hop. So hopping the feet out and together, out and together. You find the variation that works for you today, the one that's calling to you. All right, we're here for 5. Breathe through it. 4, 3, 2, we're gonna hold a bear In 1, holding it for 5, for 4, building that endurance, 3, breathe here for 2, and 1, and then set the knees down. And again, take a seat onto your heels and just breathe here. Take a few calming breaths, and you can roll out your wrists in one direction and in the other. Give them a little break. Maybe roll out your neck one way and then the other. I just cracked, you probably couldn't hear it, but I just cracked a whole bunch of, we say bones. I don't think that's what's really happening, but that's kind of what it feels like, and it felt glorious. Okay. Well, hopefully your body is feeling warmed up now and our core is activated with that plank series. So we're gonna come standing now and get to the fun cardio stuff. Okay, so this first series is going to be a jumping jack series with some length and reach movements. So I'll show you guys what it's gonna look like. You're gonna take a jumping jack and then you're gonna hop step. So you're in this sort of sideways lunge position. We're gonna start with the right knee bent and the left leg long. You're gonna reach the left arm across at shoulder height, and then you're gonna switch. So this time left knee is bent and you're gonna reach across with the right arm. If you're not taking the jump, so for those of you not jumping, you're gonna eliminate the jumping jack altogether and you're just gonna go for the reach, and you're just gonna continue this movement. If you're doing the jumping jack variation, you come back to a jumping jack and you reach and reach. Center jack, we reach and reach. All right, and then as we move through this series, we're gonna reach lower and lower, kind of like we're moving our way down a ladder. Okay, let's get started. So starting with your feet together, you're gonna take a jumping jack and you're gonna reach and reach. Come back to center, jack and reach, and then try to make this movement a little more fluid as you start to get more accustomed with the movement. Really getting long in that reach. So really thinking about reaching in opposition with arm and leg. All right, let's do 2 more sets. Here's our last one. Reach and continue. Jack, this time we're gonna reach lower. Getting lower in that lunge and reaching lower with the arm. Reach and reach. So slightly lower than that shoulder height. Reach and reach. Continuing on. Whew. 3 more sets here at this level. Reach and reach. 2 more. Reach and reach. Last one. We reach and reach. We're getting even lower now. Jack, reach and reach. Jack, reach and reach. Jack, reach and reach. 3 more sets, and then we have our final round. And reach. Breathing through it. Keeping that core nice and tight. Reach and reach. Last one. Reach and reach. Okay, here we go. Jack, you're gonna tap the mat, getting as low as you can, and reach. Bending deeply through that knee. 3 more sets. We reach and reach. Last set here. Jack, reach and reach. Come to center. Woo. Find your balance and breathe. Take a moment here to catch your breath. Woo. And hopefully you're feeling your heart rate elevate. I certainly am, as you can probably hear it in my breath. Starting to run out of breath. All right, take a few moments just to recollect yourself. Take a few calming breaths in through your nose and slowly out through your mouth. Just one more like that. Inhale through your nose and out your mouth. Alrighty. Moving right along, we're not quite done yet. This next series is going to be a jump squat series. I'm gonna talk us through it before we get started because there's gonna be a lot going on. We're gonna take 10 jump squats. We're then gonna shift our weight into the weaker leg. For me, that's my left leg. So I'm gonna shift my weight into my left leg after the 10 squat jumps. And then you're gonna come into this single leg squat position where you hover your right leg above the mat or whatever the stronger leg is. We want all the weight in that weaker leg to start. You're gonna take 5 squat jumps like this. So unilateral leg work here. It's gonna be a lot in that single supporting leg, both in the glutes and in the quads, you're gonna hold it low at the end of the 5 squat jumps. Take 5 pulses down. You're gonna switch sides and repeat. So then you're gonna take those 5 squat jumps on the other side and then take 5 pulses. And then we're gonna pause, take a rest, and we're gonna repeat the whole thing. We're gonna do 3 rounds total. And the reason I want us to do this in multiple rounds is the first round is going to be us getting used to the movement. Especially with that unilateral leg work, it's gonna feel a little bit weird. You're gonna find like sort of balance challenges that you're really not used to. So we just wanna get used to the movement. Rounds 2 and 3 are gonna be about building endurance and building strength and really finding mastery of that movement. All right, if you are not jumping, you're just gonna come to a standing position. So you're gonna squat down and then you're just gonna stand up. Squat and stand. If you'd like, you can add the challenge of coming up onto your toes for a little balance challenge and calf work. And then for your single leg squat, same thing. You're just gonna come down and stand. So instead of jumping, you just come up to stand, really rooting down through that standing leg. Alrighty, let's get started. First round here. Feet are gonna be slightly wider than hips width distance apart. Feet are parallel, so all 10 toes are facing forward. You're gonna take a seat back into your squat, bringing your hands to heart center. Before we even get started, let's set this up correctly. So I want you to sit your hips back into space, and then I want you to gaze down at your knees. You should be able to see your toes peeking past your knees. So we're not forward like this, placing too much pressure in those ankles. I want you to sit it back, almost like you're trying to lean back into space. And then I want you to find a long spine from the crown of your head out through your tailbone. And so we're not flaring open through the rib cage. We're also not rounding through our spine. We're finding a nice neutral spine here supported by our core. So again, I want you to think about the sensation of wrapping your ribs towards the midline of your body. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. This is the first round. Starting in that squat, we're gonna take 10 squat jumps. We come down and jump, down and jump. We have 8, 7, really sitting low every time into that squat. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more, and hold. Shift your weight into the weaker side. For me, that's the left side. Find your balance, hover the other leg above the mat, taking 5 squat jumps here, moving slow. We have 5, 4, trying to find some air if you can, 3, 2, 1 more, hold it low, pulse down for 5, finding your balance, 4, 3, 2, 1, shift over to the other side. Here we go, hover that leg, find your balance. When you're ready, we have 5 squat jumps. And 4, 3, challenge yourself to sit low, 2, 1 more, hold it low, pulse down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stand all the way up. Woo, take a moment here, breathe, notice how that felt in your body. And now that you've done it, you should be a bit more familiar and hopefully you'll be a bit more comfortable going into the next 2 rounds. Alrighty, when you're ready, we're gonna go into round 2. All right, sitting back into your squat, bringing those hands to heart center, reset here, 10 squat jumps. We come down and jump for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Land, pause, shift your weight into weaker leg. 5 squat jumps here. Don't even think about it, just get right into it. 4, 3, 2, it's okay to move super slow here. This is a really big balance challenge for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch to the other side. Breathe through this. Here we go. 5, jumping for 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Hold it low, pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand all the way up. Breathe, catch your breath. Take a few moments here just to calm our breath down. And know that we're in our last round. So really take charge here. Maybe you jump a little bit higher, maybe you get a little bit lower. Maybe if you haven't tried the jumps yet, you try it now. Okay, this is the last round. Coming down into your squat. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, one more. Hold it low. Shift that weight into that weaker leg. 5 squat jumps for 4, 3, 2, one more. And hold low. Pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch to the other side. Last little bit here. 5, 4, 3, 2, one more. Hold it low and pulse it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And stand all the way up. Woo. You guys made it. Let's come to the back of our mat. We're just gonna take some breaths here, walking up and down the length of our mat, inhaling through your nose, exhaling out through your mouth, slowing down the breath. Woo. Hopefully that was kind of fun for you. This one is such a challenge with that unilateral leg work. Definitely not something we do in everyday life. And so if it felt weird to you or foreign to you, that's totally normal. It feels weird to me too. One more breath in, hold at the top and exhale, slowly releasing the air out your mouth. Take a little shoulder roll. Alrighty, you guys got through the cardio portion of this class. We're gonna end class with some belly up core work, some targeted core work like we always do. We'll then get into some stretching and then you'll be out of here. All right, so coming down, actually, before we come down, we're gonna come and do a quick little plank series, and then we'll be down onto our mats. So I want you to step back into that high plank. So we've been here before, should feel familiar. You're gonna drop down to a forearm plank, right forearm, left forearm, and pause. I want you to find a number 11 with the forearms. So instead of clasping your hands, I want to challenge you to find this variation and to stack shoulders over those elbows and to really lay the wrists flat, pressing down through your finger pads so we're not crunching through the wrists. Come back up on the right, up on the left, and repeat, starting with left and right, left and right, and trying to keep the teetering of the hips to a minimum. Again, really challenging the core here. And then we're also gonna feel this in the lats, so that space between below your armpits, working here to support us through this movement. Down, down, and up. Up, 2 more rounds here. Down, down, up, up. We go left, down, down, up, up. 1 more round. Down, down, up, up. Left side. This is our last one. Hold the plank just for 10, 9, 8, 7, soft bend in the elbows, for 5, 4, breathing here, 3, 2, 1, and slowly release the knees down. Swivel the legs out in front of you. Woo, okay. Down on our mats now. You're gonna start with your feet, your legs out in front of you, feet together, knees together. And then I want you to bring your arms out in front of you at shoulder height, palms facing one another. And I want you to find a nice, tall, upright posture here. You're gonna start to roll down, so rounding through the spine, feeling the core engage, rolling back onto your tailbone. So you are tucking through the tailbone here. Trying to draw shoulders away from ears. Feeling this in the lats, so hollowing out through that armpit space. And again, feeling that wrapping sensation with your rib cage. So think about rib cage wrapping in towards the midline of the body. Holding it here, this is your C curve. And then you're gonna start to roll yourself back up, chin in towards chest, lifting up, and then straightening through spine to come up to that tall seat. Repeating like this. So starting to tuck through the tailbone, coming into your C curve, feeling that core engage, Still reaching with those arms, shoulders away from ears, and then roll yourself up. So this is a super slow and controlled movement. And we're just coming down to the C-curve level and then lifting ourselves back up. And when you lift yourself up, I really want you to think about this as like a rolling into a little, almost like you're trying to roll into a little ball, and then you're gonna come back up to that tall seat. 3 more like this, rolling it down and hold, and then chin in towards your chest as you roll yourself up. 2 more, inhale, back, finding that C-curve. Exhale, lift yourself up. 1 more, inhale, back. And then exhale, roll yourself up, coming to that tall seat. All right, now we're gonna come all the way down onto our backs. So you're gonna roll all the way down, and you're gonna find tabletop with the legs. So knees stack over your hips, shins are roughly parallel to the mat. If you find that you're finding a lot of low back strain with your shins parallel to the mat, that might just be a little too much weight into your core, so you can bring your shins to a slight diagonal. All right. From here, I want you to plant your palms onto the tops of your thighs, and then I want you to close off the space between your low back and the mat. So if you're just in rest, you'll notice there's a little bit of a gap here. You should be able to place your fingertips underneath. I want you to press down into your fingertips, remove them, and I want that space to be closed off so you can't fit your fingertips through to the other side. Okay, palms are gonna start on those thighs, knees together here. You're gonna take an inhale, and you're gonna exhale, press your palms into your thighs, and you're gonna press your thighs into your palms, finding an isometric hold. We're in a dead bugs. You can stay here, or you can lift head, neck, and shoulders, and find a little upper ab work as well. And I want you to press even more. So really pressing both legs into hands, hands into legs. You should be finding a little earthquake happening. It doesn't look like we're doing anything at all, but I promise you, if you are pressing hard, you are feeling it. For 5, 4, adding on in 3, in 2, in 1. Hold it where you are. You're gonna extend right leg and right arm, and they're gonna come back, pressing into that side. You're gonna extend left leg and left arm, and come back to center and switch. And switch, still pressing with all your might. Palm into leg, leg into palm, and switch. Let's do 3, and 3, 2, and 2. Here's 1, and 1 more, and hold it. And lower head, neck, and shoulders if they were lifted. Draw your knees into chest. 1 more move here for our abs, and then we're going to get into stretching. You're gonna bring your knees back into tabletop. This time, arms are gonna be long by your side, palms face down, open through your collarbones, and glue your shoulder blades down into the mat. Try not to let them peel up. Close off the space between your low back and the mat, find that imprinted spine, and you're going to slowly lift both legs together down towards the mat. And your toes are probably not gonna tap. I want you to pause where you can still feel this fully supported by your core and not in your low back. So the low back should still be imprinted. We're not lifting, we're not peeling through that back at all. And then you're gonna exhale using that lower abdominal strength to lift your legs back up, the weight of your legs. So I want the legs to be basically doing nothing. They're just maintaining the shape of that tabletop. The hinge is coming from your hips, and the engine is your core. So that's what's powering this move, allowing us to both lower and lift through the legs. Okay, 3 more like this. Inhale as you lower. Maybe you come even lower if you can. Hold just for a second at your lowest point before you exhale, slow lift your legs back up. And I really want you to focus on the lift being super slow and really driving through your core. So using the core to drive that movement. Okay, here's our last one. Exhale, lifting up, holding here, and then hugging your knees into chest. Maybe giving yourself a little rock side to side. All right, guys, you made it. We're gonna start with a supine figure 4 stretch since we're on our backs already, and we did get pretty heavy into our glutes. You can cross your right ankle over that left thigh, and you can stay here, and you can use your hand to press the knee open and deepen the stretch in your right glute and that right outer hip. If this is enough for you, you can absolutely stay here. If you want more, you can start to lift the whole shape of your legs and grab behind your left thigh, using your right elbow to nudge the right leg slightly open to get deeper into that right glute. One more breath here. And then let's switch, crossing left leg over that right thigh. You can stay here again and just use that left palm to nudge that knee open to deepen the stretch in your glute. If you want more, you can grab behind your right thigh, taking the whole shape of your legs up and using your elbow to press that knee open to find more depth in this stretch. Finding a few more breaths here. Good job, you guys, for getting through this class. I know that it was challenging. I was certainly out of breath, and you could probably hear that in my voice. But hopefully you're feeling good and refreshed. All right, bringing your knees into your chest. You're gonna rock yourself up to a seat, and we're going to flip around, finding a downward facing dog. So finding that downward facing dog, I want you to first focus on long spine. So find a deep bend in your knees, lifting your hips up towards the sky, finding a long spine from the crown of your head through your tailbone. Drawing your chest closer towards your thighs, and then you can start to play around with straightening one leg and the other. So taking us into the back side of the legs. If you're feeling ready, you can start to straighten through both legs and draw your heels closer to the mat. Lift your right leg high, and then draw your knee in towards your chest, gently setting the foot down between your hands. You're gonna set the back knee down, and we're gonna find a hip flexor stretch on the left side. So the left hip flexor is the one that we're opening up. I want you to lean your chest forward, straightening, lengthening through your spine. And then you're gonna come up. If you'd like, you can come up onto your thigh, placing your hands onto that right thigh, and lean even more forward to deepen the stretch in that left hip flexor. Breathing here for a few moments. And then I want you to set your left palm down. We're gonna take a quad stretch now. If you have really tight quads, I encourage you to grab a towel or maybe a long TheraBand to place around the top of your left foot. But if you're feeling open enough, you can go ahead and grab with your hand and just breathe here for a few moments. And then slowly release, and then switch it out. Coming back into your downward facing dog, lifting left leg high, drawing your knee towards chest, and setting that foot down between your palms. And then go ahead and drop the knee down and start to lengthen through your chest, finding that right hip flexor stretch now. If you're ready, you can come up onto that thigh, resting your palms on your thigh, and then leaning into this even more. A few breaths. And then go ahead and set the right palm down, and this time bend into the right leg. And again, using the TheraBand, towel, or your hand, whatever is accessible to you. Being gentle with yourself here, so you definitely don't wanna stress out that quad. We worked into the quads quite a bit today, so they might be feeling tight. And then slowly release it down. Set your palms down, step back into one last downward facing dog. Deep inhale and exhale. And then go ahead and set the knees down. And you guys are all done with class. Thank you so, so much again for joining today. I hope you did enjoy class. I hope that you found it both challenging, but also fun. But again, please leave some feedback if you have any. Definitely open to hearing what you guys thought about class as I continue to build out more sequences for this style. And if you'd like to see what's coming next, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining.